Здравствуйте. My name is Tsar Andrei, and welcome to an intellectual guide for Mountain Blade Bannerlord. I've been playing this game for about a week now, and it's pretty good. It's definitely got some flaws, but for an early access game, I think it's pretty good. But I'm not here to review the game. I am here today to inform you, the great players of Bannerlord, those who have had the patience of a decade to wait for this new game. I'm going to give you the excellent strategies with which one can succeed in the reimagined world of Calradia. So, first, obviously, one must create their character. This is often first done by selecting what culture your character is from. You've got the Sturgians, Vlandians, Azurai, Khuzaits, the Imperials, and the Britannian, all of which correlate to real-life culture. And they've all got their strengths and weaknesses, but I obviously, Tsar Andrei, Captain Russian bias, chose the Sturgians as they are inspired by a kind of blend of Slavic and Nordic cultures, but it really doesn't matter. All seem to be very viable and very interesting, really, because I think a lot of the areas are very well fleshed out. Alright, so we're gonna go with Sturgian now. This bonus isn't amazing, but they look cool and close to like the Slavs and stuff like that. And Vikings, Slavs and Vikings. Next, of course, you must choose what your character looks like. Now, there's really only been one, but we're going to say that there's been two philosophies for creating a Mountain Blade Warband character. The first is trying to make somebody who looks like an actual human being, which is an imperfect system to create a real human-looking person. As part of my channel art will show you in The Legend of Steve from one of my old videos. And then, of course, the second philosophy was always creating a heinous monster, which, by all accounts, is much easier.
Get wireless!
Alright, here we go. You're given the opportunity to choose some facts about your character's life, about what they did. It's a little more put into detail here. Both of your parents are dead, by the way, so haha, you're an orphan. And also, by the time you get into the game, you are a 30-something-year-old kissless virgin as well, it is worth noting. This is a cursed child right here, look at him.
Extreme alpha male, yeah.
Look at that facial expression. In which you were staying was attacked by raiders. Your parents were slain and your two youngest siblings seized. You and your brother survived because... Broder. This is a veteran guy, keep in mind. Yeah, I think I got it down. Anyway, once you've created your character, you venture into the world of Calradia, in which the first thing you are expected to do is to go help out some poor blathering peasant who managed to get himself captured by some bandit people. You have to draft a couple illiterate serfs to serve you, because evidently 4 pieces of gold is enough to keep them happy. Which, hey, no complaints from me. I've discovered this man. Next, of course, maybe after attacking a couple looters to get yourself ready, as they are about as populous as rats, and can, generally speaking, be slaughtered. I have already discovered an exploit in which, when fighting looters, if you want to very, very, very easily level up your men with absolutely no loss, just auto-resolve against looters. You'll get about 18 level ups for your troops, and it is very rare that anybody at all will die. It is really blatantly overpowered. Once you've done this exploit and somehow managed to get experienced soldiers out of fighting homeless people, you can begin to attack the bandit lair where this hobo is being held. Oh, dang, I just shot him in the head. Yeah, he's gone. Taking it out isn't anything special, and at the end of clearing most of the camp, you can choose whether or not you want to duel the leader or not. I chose to duel him because I thought that would be cool, and I actually heard a bit later after I did it that this is supposed to be very difficult. It wasn't, and I don't know why, so I'm not going to say that I'm good, I'm just saying that I beat him. Oh, it's their guy. Let's duel. I think I just killed him. Is he dead? I don't know if he's dead or not. You are some ugly people. Look at this guy. Oh, I didn't kill him. But anyway, I dueled him, I got the guy back, and he has this valuable piece of something or another on him. At this point, you are given the opportunity by your brother to basically search around and ask nobles about what this is, because someone somewhere says that this item is important to somebody. The nobles are not exactly easy to find, they tend to be very skittish creatures, showing up here and there around the world of Bannerlord, and in my game it took my character about 2 in-game years to finally talk to the last person. In the meanwhile, while your brother talks about going off to look for your 2 siblings who disappeared earlier on, you will actually never hear from your brother again. He is as good as dead. We'll just go with remake. Ooh, I get my own banner. You know, my friends, I don't suppose I really need to look through these, because obviously the correct answer is the double-headed eagle. Whether it's this one or this one, I don't think it matters too much. I think we'll go with this one though. Tutorial over, you're now free to explore. Ah, yes. And even though it will designate a city, for me it was Shaikand, I don't know if it's the same for everybody. If you go to the city that it says is his home, and it'll even say that he's there, as far as I know, he's not there. So best to assume your brother was eaten by a mountain lion or something, because you'll never find him again, and same for your siblings. So, not only are you now an orphan, you're also an only child. Congratulations. Well, now that you're out in the world looking for these nobles, evidently you're likely to get bored of just, you know, randomly searching around looking for people with blue exclamation points abstractly floating over their heads. So you're gonna say, Andrei, what should I be doing? With your infinite wisdom, bestow upon me knowledge. And I'll tell you, I don't really know. Basically, all I did was I fought in the arena for a bit to grind out cash, and you get about 250 for winning arena battles, and in the beginning when I was doing it, that was in a point in the game where you didn't actually gain any experience for doing it, so haha, I gained almost nothing. And then I went and fought in a bunch of tournaments because you get an incredibly small amount of renown, I think 3.0, and they actually nerfed the amount of money you get from that, so it was viable to give me money originally, but you're shit out of luck if that's you now, sorry. Got a tournament. Didn't record it, but got a tournament. some odd repetition. Oh my god, I killed him. Yeah, that wasn't bad. You're gonna eventually realize that most of the stuff you even win out of tournaments isn't really worth that much. Sometimes you get something worth about 4,000, but in the end, I never really used any of it. I just sold most of it. I very rarely even gave it to my followers because I just use them to run caravans now. Speaking of caravans, this is when you should realize that arenas and tournaments are terrible ways to make money. You can also play some of the board games that are available in taverns, and I've already figured out an exploit for sure for one of them, which is in all Imperial taverns, there's this game called Tablet, and it is incredibly difficult at first because you have no idea what you're doing, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's actually incredibly easy. So what you want to do, you want to select hardest difficulty, you want to put the bet on 500 gold, and after you've put the bet on 500 gold, pick defenders, and the literal strategy is 1. Kill everything that moves into an area where you can kill it in one turn, and then the second strategy is after you've killed it, move everything back into the original formation. That's literally it. Keep your guys in that cross formation, kill anything that moves, and you will win in approximately 5 minutes every single time. I have literally yet to lose to the AI this way. You could try to play as attacker, but I've yet to win against the AI. I'm sure there's an exploit, I just haven't figured it out yet. But you can do that. It's a pretty easy 500 gold. It's really still not the easiest way to get money. You can also set up workshops, which in the very earliest stages of the game were blatantly overpowered, and apparently people were making like 10,000 a day or something. The real way to make money in this game is caravans. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is reliable because admittedly by the time I started a caravan, I had something like 30,000 already from all the tournaments I'd been fighting. As it turns out, it doesn't matter at all who you send to run a caravan. I sent out somebody with, I think, 10 charm, which is the trade stat, basically. And I mean, I didn't even know to look really at the time. And before I knew it, after about a week of losing, 200 every day, I started gaining about 1,300 every day for like a week, and there was another week of minus 200, and then another week of plus 1,300. So it seems kind of bad at first, but it'll actually make you a stupid amount of money, especially once you've got like 2 of them. Though I will say, if you want to make the most money, start it on an edge of the map. I started them in the Sturgian town of Tsar, which seemed to work pretty well. I don't know necessarily how it works for every city, but it seems like Sturgian cities are a good place to start. And I was actually able to take advantage of the fact that the Sturgian faction itself fell apart almost immediately upon starting my game, because shit moves fast. Basically, the Crusades took out some parts of some of the empires and like 2/3 of the Sturgians immediately, which left me, ready to make my mark in the world. So the first thing I decided to do was I was going to go ahead and find the 10 people, which I did by just kind of wandering through Aserai lands, which, good tip, if you want to find the 10 people, find out what war has just started, and then go into the area between where the 2 people are. Because while they're fighting each other, they'll all be around there, and you can find them pretty easily. I found like half of them by doing that, in a span of like 6 in-game days, I think. Right now I'm just waiting patiently for these people to, finish their battle. Default intro for famous player, we'll try to make sure that this does not occur. But once I did that, I met with the 2 people. I lied to an old lady about wanting to support the Empire.
Good. Then I will tell you what I know.
And told the truth to some weird crackhead about wanting to destroy the Empire. Because I assumed that meaning destroying the Empire would mean founding my own faction, which was the main thing that I wanted to do. So I told the truth to that guy. I got my 3 pieces of the banner, which, for how difficult it was to find the 10 lords, getting the actual banner for the Bannerlord itself was really, really easy. Because there were just like 2 bandit hideouts, and by this point, especially if it does take you a while to find the 10 lords, you're going to have like 80 men in your army, and they're all going to be, full-on soldiers. So there's really no issue at all to do this. is dead. So now that I had my banner, I was like, okay, who am I going to take out? So I decided to go for the Stygian town of Blade, I believe it was. And after thinking of the oddity of that name, when thought of in English language terms, I decided that that would be the best place to take, as Stygia was down to maybe 4-ish cities. And I was like, well, you know, seems easy enough. I had like 100 men, maybe 80 something. So I set up my siege camp after attacking some innocent peasants, which was really just unfortunate for them. And I took out that city, which was actually a little easier than I expected because I've learned some things about the siege system. Don't even bother if you're the attacker building any offensive equipment because it's all going to get destroyed by whatever the defenders build, because the defenders build way faster than you do. If you build offensive pieces, they're going to get destroyed even if you go all the way to building the trebuchet, and this will actually lose you somewhere around 5 men each time you do it, and you'll gain almost nothing, especially since you're likely to be outnumbered in an attacking siege, unless you play for a really long time and try to get your numbers way, way up. So skip out on that and then just build a siege tower normally. Except, for Blade, I didn't have to do this. I got attacked like 30 times by Stygian lords with something like 50 people a pop and 3 people attacking me at once. And it was actually quite incredibly easy because I would just stand my men in a line, win the fight, and go on. I'd capture all the people, recruit their prisoners, upgrade my men, end up with maybe a little fewer men, but a higher quality army, which was really quite good, actually. And after I had that better army, I ended up getting into a fight with the garrison of the castle itself. They sallied out after like 30 people attacked me, so I got to face the might of like 300 people against my 110, I think. And I was like, oh god, this is gonna go terrible. I'm gonna lose so many men. But I decided, well, I need this to make my kingdom. Might as well do it now while there's a great opportunity. I don't know who that was, but I just knocked him down. Oh, well, I knocked out somebody important. And in the meantime, I'm just charging all their infantry. This actually makes things much easier because I may not need to build as many siege things since everybody's going to be dead before the siege itself properly starts. So this is actually quite likely the best turn of events because the siege battle is going to be very easy now. So I fought, won the battle, lost like 20 people, and alas, Blade was mine. Because, as the whole garrison of the castle attacked me, they were all dead or wounded, leaving like 3 people in there, so I just kind of auto-resolved the battle. The siege battle itself didn't really give me anything, but my god, that battle before was pretty good. So I had this city. Now, I never said that I was a particularly good decision maker, but this is the intellectual guide. So what I did was I decided to also take, I think the city is called Umor, which is pretty close to Blade. Now I decided to play it a little greedy going for this, admittedly, and I didn't even bother to garrison Blade. which, you know, is debatably a mistake. There was one time when I went and I actually went through the process and took Omar, only to find Balgard was taken by the Battanians, so I couldn't even take it back. So I reloaded that save, and I figured out probably the greatest exploit of this entire game. You've got to be kidding me. And then I got to that last battle where I had to fight them to take the castle. They sallied out again, except this time I only had 80 men against their 300. And I fought it for real about 7 times and lost every single time. As it is worth noting, in one of the real battles that you're actually playing, if your player character dies, your troops start to do terribly. So, while yeah, the battle can continue after your player character dies, it really can't, because your troops are just going to suck shit, so you don't want to do it. So what I ended up doing instead was, just for the fun of it, I clicked the auto-resolve button on my 80 versus 300, and we'll say about 200 of that 300 was militia, and most of my guys were pretty experienced. So when I go in and fight the battle, I completely lose, but I try and let the game simulate it just for kicks. And look at this. Oh, that's so stupid. That is so stupid. But hey, 50 renown. Total War is crying right now hearing about this auto-resolve, because the auto-resolve in this game is so blatantly in your favor that it is utterly ridiculous. You could probably get to that point where I was, and as long as you kept around 100 men, you could probably auto-resolve every single battle in the entire game and win. Because I took Omar, and then I realized, wow, that was incredibly easy. There is literally no reason to actually physically fight battles. And then I had 2 cities and snowballed from there, and I ended up with like 3 or 4 cities and was basically undefeatable. So that, my friends, is how you win Bannerlord. To summarize, fight tournaments until you can get a caravan, use your caravans for money, and then auto-resolve all your battles when you decide to take on a faction. Profit. That's it. That's all. That's how you play Mount & Blade Bannerlord. I like the game. Really needs a lot of work, but if you want to win right now, get that Sweet World Conquest screenshot. That's how you do it. So, I hope you enjoyed this intellectual guide to Mount & Blade Bannerlord, where we discuss unorthodox tactics, but prioritize effectiveness. So, if you enjoy this mindset and enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. See you in the next video, hopefully. Das Vidania.